Welcome to the Spoilers of the Damned podcast. Spoilers of the Damned podcast. Hello and welcome to Spoilers of the Damned Twin Peaks edition. We are covering today episodes 6 and 7.
Yes.
They didn't air together, but we had strange happenings last week. I mean, I think you said, Matt, that Now TV managed to ruin the episode for you, or at least kind of spoil things.
They spoiled that a particular actress was going to be in the episode, and as soon as a character went into a certain location, and it's going to be that actress, and I've just figured out which character it is. Great, wonderful, thanks. Thank you very much.
And I mean, if you're listening to this, you got it in for yourself if you don't want it spoiled. So it's fair to say that was Diane, right?
Yeah.
And we'll get into Diane, especially now that we can talk about part 6 and part 7 together.
Yes.
Because if we were just talking about her last week, it would be just that she's got white hair, and that's it.
And she stood there and had a cigarette and looked annoyed. I was like, what an appearance.
But of course now we can speak from experience that yes, she seems very annoyed.
Yeah, I like the way she played Diane actually.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because for a character, well, we'll get into it, but for a character that's been kind of around in terms of the story since the beginning, but has never been seen or glimpsed or heard of, is really interesting. They had a lot to live up to, and I think for the most part, yeah, they do deliver it. It's a bit confusing as to why she is so pissed off, but
yeah,
that might just be the kind of person she is.
Yeah, maybe the only person that could ever get through to her was Cooper. And I mean, to be fair, he was always really nice and friendly to everyone anyway. I mean, even in the original show when Albert turns up,
exactly,
immediately a completely miserable bastard. Cooper just stands there, just smiling. Like,
yeah, and incidentally, he may well have the best line of episode 6, which was "Fuck you, Gene Kelly, motherfucker." But you had that spoiled for you, and at the same time, I was experiencing my own kind of like absurd Lynchian dark comedy scene where I was locked outside my house for about, I don't know, 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, but it was very hot and sunny, and I wasn't very happy.
Yeah.
So I kind of said, let's veto the podcast until next week.
Yeah,
so
that's just
we
like
are.
it. I mean, it could be worse. You could have been locked out this week.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, just to recap for everybody, it's been 30, 32 degrees.
Yep,
sort of in central London.
And it's going to be 33 tomorrow, and I'm going to be walking around filming stuff in the city.
Oh, amazing!
So that's going to be fun.
I have much pity for you, and I want you to take ice of some kind wherever you go.
It wouldn't last long. There's been no point. I'd walk out and it just immediately just evaporate.
They've also been saying there's going to be lots of thunderstorms tomorrow, so that might be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if I can capture that as well.
Mm.
If it happens during the day, that'd be really nice. Like if it happens at the end, when I'm at the final location, and the thunder starts then, and I'm like, that's nice and cool. I'm gonna fuck off back to the office now.
Whatever it is that's whatever it is that you're filming, whether it's completely unrelated or not, suddenly just turns into like this kind of like dark nightmarish scene where the sky blackens and thunder and lightning happen.
Well, it is the city, so this is a possibility.
Yeah.
Of that. It's the walkie-talkie building. So it's like the building from Ghostbusters. I can't remember the guy that made it. It was like the cultist. So it's gonna be something like that.
Oh yeah, arcanely designed. I can't remember the guy's name either.
His name? No, he's the main villain in the game as well. Like the one that came out a few years ago. I can't remember his name. It's gonna come back to me later on. I'm just gonna shout it out and just like wake everyone up in the neighbourhood. It'd be like 12 o'clock.
I do hope so.
Like, it's him.
And of course, we've got the link as well that Zedmore is.
Yes.
Yes.
More Winston. More Ernie Hudson, which is always
bringing it back.
He still looks bloody good for his age as well, bastard.
He does, and I just when we were with in episode 7, and we'll get onto it, the scene with the lady calling in on the body to see if what's been said is true. The whole time I was just sitting there crossing my fingers, going, "Have a phone conversation with the Ghostbuster," and then she does, and it's just on her face, and I'm like, "Please cut to him," and then it cuts to him. It's like,
Like,
yay,
yes.
I get to see him. Aside from that silly, strange guy in black running around.
Yeah, like I don't that confused me. Like I think it's the same guy from the prison cell in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, we'll get into it. But I've read some things that kind of, some people have mixed views on who exactly he is, and whether he's whether he's related to other characters. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Like a bomb.
Yeah, I've read some crackpot theories this week. I don't know if you have, but
oh god.
Yeah, no, they're really not very nice in terms of subject matter, and some people really. There are some that I can see, and there are others where I just feel that people are not understanding what they're watching, and they come with these things completely out of left field, and you think, wait a minute, everything I saw means that couldn't possibly make sense, yet you've just written 4,000 words on Reddit to explain exactly how it makes sense. So.
Oh, what was that really ridiculous one a few weeks ago as well? Shit, I can't. You brought it up.
I can't remember. There's so many.
They're just so stupid. You just stop.
Yeah.
It's like the ones that are just really reaching.
Yeah, and we are going to get there. We'll get there, but we'll save those towards the tail end of the podcast. We'll kind of cover the plot first. Yes. So, diving into part 6. And as always, stealing my content from Wikipedia.
Boring.
Borrowing. Police take Cooper to Dougie's home after he's found loitering outside his workplace, still fondling that lovely statue that we were talking about last time. Janie E. receives a photo of Dougie with Jade and chastises Cooper for Dougie's infidelity. I love this scene.
Because we got the line again. 2 rides.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Jade give 2 rides.
Oh, I bet she did. Janie E. is really kind of... when I first saw her character, I wasn't too sure, but especially in the scenes over part 6 and part 7, it's really grown on me. Especially when she was, quote-unquote, negotiating with those people who were blackmailing him.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah. And then, of course, with the police in episode 7, but we'll get onto that. Cooper draws cryptic images of ladders and staircases on Dougie's case files, guided by lights on the pages. Yeah, so I was sat there the whole time kind of hoping that he was going to have a flash of brilliance, and all I saw was doodles. I thought, oh dear. But I'm glad. It's one of those instances where I'm glad one of those tropes kind of came true, because the obvious trope is to have him walk in and his boss go, wow, this makes so much sense. You've solved everything, even though it is just a bunch of doodles. But I was happy because it's Coop as Dougie,
Exactly.
So.
And it's like, I want Coop back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm almost tempted to just completely skip over episode 6 and talk about episode 7, because we had a tantalising, amazing glimpse of Coop Fu in part 7.
I thought that was the moment. That scene was really cool, but we'll get to it in a bit. But I just want to say right now, the scene was really cool. But who decided to put that stock punch sound effect in for when he was chopping the guy in the throat? It was like,
oh really? Was it like a whiplash kind of sound?
Yeah, I was like, this isn't Indiana Jones, This isn't like
You're probably right.
Movie.
I was so wrapped up in the moment of, oh my god, something's happening.
He's actually moving quickly.
Exactly.
Squeeze his arm off. His hand. We'll get to that. But I think we can go over episode 6 particularly quickly, because for the first time, unfortunately, since the show came back, this was an episode I didn't particularly like very much, because it was just really dull and nothing really happened.
Yeah,
there was lots of little things that were happening on some of the plot threads, but nothing substantial happened except the I think his name's Ike the Spike, the midget hitman, which is just absolutely just fucking embarrassing. I'm sorry, like I'm all for equality in there, right? But if I can't outrun a guy who can't run particularly fast because of his stature as a smaller person, then I deserve to die. And also, arms are very long, so just kick him in the head.
Oh, but I loved that expression where he was so sad that his spike got bent.
Oh, so he went for a gun, didn't it? Well,
the spike lost his spike.
I think what didn't help with that was the fucking music playing during it as well. It was like strange pop music.
Yeah, it was the same one that was playing, I think, when he was looking at the pictures of his people he was supposed to assassinate.
Yeah,
just to remind people, he assassinated, I believe the character's called Lorraine, but it was the same woman who texted on that, I guess it was a BlackBerry. She texted the box in Argentina.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was.
The other characters were remarking about her being a warrior. Well, I guess that was fairly founded.
Good reason. Also, like I saw a still of it. I think it was earlier in the week, and she had a safe in the room, but it was made out of cardboard.
Really?
Or paper or something that was just on the wall. Yeah, it looked like it was just made like a cardboard sheet that had just been stuck to the wall. That had like a doodling of a safe on it. So.
Oh, that seems far too deliberate to just be a bad prop. That was... Well, yeah, I mean, there's probably already a 4,000 word thread on it on Reddit, but yeah.
Oh, probably like what it means. Like, oh, is it something? Oh, what does this mean? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
There is stuff that does mean something, but also it's Lynch, so there's a lot of strange things.
Yeah, we'll get on to... When we get on to episode 7, I will disappear at my own arsehole talking about the sweeping scene.
Oh, for God's sake, that fucking scene.
I don't know if you saw my status. I tried to be ambiguous to make sure I didn't spoil it for you, but I wrote a status about that scene because it was perfect. So many things going on there at once.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're getting at as well. I did also see someone has actually timed it, and that lasts for 1 minute 30 seconds.
It feels longer.
Oh, no, sorry, it was 130 seconds.
Oh, so what? Two minutes.
It's like 2.5 minutes almost.
My math skills are showing there.
It's over 2 minutes of just... what the fuck?
But nice music.
My
dad loves Booker T and used to play that all the time.
Oh yeah, the choice of music that made it. If there was like no music, then I might have just gone absolutely mental. Might fast forward this. Yeah, that was. Yeah, but we'll get to that. But
okay, well we'll speed through episode 6.
Yeah, because it's wank.
Anyway, so Dougie's boss was initially angry until he recognised a pattern in the drawings, and he thanks Cooper. And Cooper does that cool imitation of Punch, which I thought was going to come sort of to fruition, and he kind of did in episode 7, but it wasn't really the same kind of Punch.
No.
And we also saw his fascination with badges as well begin, which was really cute. Janie E met the two criminals, and they were demanding $52,000, and she ended up giving them $25,000, making it her only offer.
Yeah, and just like chastised them. They're like, huh,
yeah,
okay.
That whole kind of diatribe she goes into was some people have been saying apparently that's very Mark Frost in terms of like the way it's written. So it felt very kind of sort of true to the character and character driven. Where else are we? Yes, Ike the Spike receives identical envelopes containing photos of Dougie and Lorraine, and then, of course, he goes off to murder Lorraine and several of her co-workers.
Somehow catching up with them.
Albert finds Diane in a bar, and that's literally all that happened. I can't remember. She doesn't say anything, or does she even say hello? Or
I think she might say... I think she says hello, Albert, and he says hello, Diane. I think.
Oh yeah, so we get our confirmation of who the character is. Yeah, probably.
But yeah, thanks to Now TV for putting her in the thumbnail when she's in the episode for a grand total of 5 seconds.
Yeah, we're putting you on blast Now TV.
I wouldn't mind if she was a thumbnail for next week's one, because the problem is like their thumbnails, every single thumbnail bar that one has been completely irrelevant to the episode. Like. The pilot was an image of Coop in the Black Lodge, but that's not really spoiling anything. The second one was Shelley Johnson and Norma Jennings, and they weren't even seen until like a couple episodes later.
Yeah.
Every other episode, the one for yesterday's was a still of Dr. Jacoby. But then suddenly they're like, oh yeah, Laura Dern's in this episode, so let's put Laura Dern all over the fucking thumbnail and just spoil the fact that she's in the fucking episode.
It is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. But she's a good choice to play Diane, because she's very good. Laura Dern's very good. And, if David Lynch would tell you that, because he's just fucking... He thinks she's like the best thing ever. But she is good.
Yeah, she was in... was she in Blue Velvet?
Blue Velvet, she's very good.
She was in... I've not seen Inland Empire, but she was in Inland Empire.
I think she's the lead in Inland Empire, and he's like... He thinks she's fucking great. And she is good. I'm not disagreeing. She's very good. Although, when we get to episode 7, there's something I want to mention that did make me laugh. I groaned initially, then it made me laugh. But there was a scene with her later on. But yeah, so like you're saying, Albert goes to Diane after saying the best words in the episode, the best line in the episode, which was what was it?
I believe it was "Fuck Eugene Kelly, motherfucker."
Yes, which did make me laugh. It made me laugh out loud completely. It's brilliant.
Yeah, we'll say, to be fair, it's finally... It's not quite 100% old school Albert, but it's a lot more Albert and in character than some of the other scenes we were talking about before.
Yeah, even his demeanour, his body language is pretty much spot on now.
Yeah.
Even the way he's just standing, he's standing like Albert. So, but yeah, that was that was really funny.
Yeah, we had a really kind of I guess the word is shocking or dramatic scene where Richard Horne, the edgelord from a couple of episodes back, manages to completely knock down a kid in his truck. Well, I'm not even sure if it was his truck, because in episode 7, the person Andy is meeting with, apparently he was pointing at that guy's truck and it looked to be the same truck. So he clearly kind of swapped vehicles or something.
Yeah, that episode... it definitely it definitely surprised me, when you see rather brutally actually showing the child being struck by the car, the truck, but it just felt I know that Lynch is very dark, obviously, I know that, but it just felt really out of place. Like for he's not usually not even gratuitous, but that just seemed really, really out of place, and just felt like a really forced way for us to dislike this character even more. I mean, at this moment, we don't really need to we don't need any more to dislike him. The first scene he was in, he was a complete fucking rapist, borderline rapist scumbag. Like, I don't need to see him run down a kid to go, oh, I really don't like him now.
Yeah, we already know he's connected with the local drug scene.
Yeah, because we see him with Balthazar Getty, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Who was wonderfully insane. He was one of the best things in the episode, was he was just completely out of his mind. He I don't know if he was on the drugs that he was selling, but then he has that weird moment he just like clutches stomach and just says, I've got something wrong with my liver. Like, okay.
And he does the nifty magic trick as well.
Yes. So I don't know if there's more to him.
Yeah, if there's more to that, whether he's connected potentially to Mr. C or not, I don't know.
He could be. But yeah, he was. It was good to see him again. He was genuinely unsettling as well. But yeah, the whole scene with the child being hit was just really strange and really strangely acted as well. Like the guy in the I shouldn't laugh, but I'm going to. Because obviously it's the kids. Because they set up that scene where Harry Dean Stanton's character from Firewalk with Me comes back, which
apparently he's mentioned quite heavily in that Secret History of Twin Peaks book, and that's apparently good. he's a local and he used to live in Twin Peaks, and obviously when he kind of must have moved away to wherever it was that he had the trailer park in Firewalk with Me.
Yes.
But it seems that he's relocated closer to his original kind of like local hometown of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, it would appear so. And I mean, I know previously said about like the whole glorified cameos, but if he's not in it again, it'll be a shame. But either way, it's always really nice to see Harry Dean Stanton because he's always really bloody good.
Yeah, absolutely.
He does look old now, but he still, at the same time, still looks exactly the same, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I guess he's kind of looked like an old man for a while.
Well, when I went to the Prince Charles Cinema with my girlfriend to see the 70mm showing of of Alien. He looks old as shit in that, and that was that was a while ago.
Yeah,
But,
I think he's just one of those. It's like Patrick Stewart. He's just looked like an old man for quite a while.
Just going to look that way until the day dies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's in the park, and then there's the kid playing that strange game. His mum wished she would catch him, and he'd run off a bit, and she'd catch him again and run off. And they come to the traffic lights. As soon as I saw that, I knew, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I thought he was either going to hit the child, or he was going to kill Harry Dean Stanton. And I think I'd have been angry if he killed Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah. And it bears mentioning as well that that's the same intersection where in Fire Walk with Me.
Yes.
Leland and that infamous kind of screaming scene where they're all screaming.
It's your father! It's your father! They're really loud and just very unsettling, because it's just, you feel uncomfortable in the whole scene. But yeah, I thought I recognised that section, and now you said that, that makes a lot of sense. But yes, the child's playing, blah blah blah, gets to the traffic lights, and then there's the guy in the I can't remember if he was in an RV or he was in something. He says the waves across, and kid runs across, gets splattered.
That guy's expression.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Like he does this thing where he kind of holds. He goes, and he puts his he goes, oh damn! He doesn't even put his hand on his head. I don't think.
Yeah, it just looks like he's received some, like his scratch card didn't win.
Yeah, it's almost like someone just said, I'm sorry, but I couldn't get pizza this afternoon. He's on like Skype. He's on Bluetooth with his hands free to his wife.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. You wanted green olives, but I could only get black olives.
Yeah, and he's like, shit. Like, a kid has just been run down in front of him. The kid is dead, and he's like,
it was a bit bizarre.
Like,
but I think that all kind of played into the whole kind of like dark, tragic comedy of it all.
It's just so bizarre. And then the scene goes on for a while, and then there's the strange effect of, I assume, his soul.
Yes,
floating up into the ether.
As we've discussed previously, spirits sort of in this series use electricity as a form of kind of conduit, or maybe they are made of electricity. Who knows? It's kind of literally all up in the air at the moment. But apparently, again in the History of Twin Peaks book, Carl, which is Harry Dean Stanton's character, has had history of interacting with spirits from I guess the Black Lodge or the White Lodge. I don't want to quote it because I haven't read the book yet. Yes. But this is what I've gathered from reading on Reddit, which is what I spend a lot of my time doing, especially on a Tuesday or Monday evening.
Well, it's fun to see everyone's if anyone picked up on stuff you didn't pick up on,
Yeah, exactly.
Because it makes you. But, I mean, I'd want to watch it again anyway. But also, it does. Again, I'd want to watch the stuff back anyway. But then if someone goes, "Oh, did you notice this thing? Like, what's this thing in the background?" Like, "Oh, I need to watch this again."
Yeah, there are a lot more eagle-eyed people, because I didn't catch during the interview between Cole and Mr. C. I didn't catch that the word was backwards, but as proven in episode 7, those people were 100% right, and they clocked it. So,
and it's when I listened to it back. After we talked about it, and it's very creepy because he does stop and corrects himself. But yeah, you're right. In episode 7, Cole mentions it, and you're like, "Yay, Cole's not a complete dunce."
Yeah, well, actually, we'll pretty much just finish up episode 6. The only other major plot point in episode 6 that was quite important is that Hawk in the bathroom drops a coin, and it kind of leads him towards the manufacturer symbol on the door, which is it's using a kind of a Native American chief as its kind of symbol, as its logo. And he notices the screws are missing from the door, and then he finds that there are several pages inside, and here is where I get my shiny golden crown, doff it up for you a little bit so it's shiny, and put it on your head and say, "You called it."
I totally called it. I was right. Fuck you all.
The pages of Laura Palmer's diary. I will say as well, there were some people who were not quite sure it was, but literally as we begin our recap of episode 7, Hawk and Sheriff Truman take the time to very explicitly say that is what they are.
Like, yes.
All of the people who were sitting there going, "No, but actually, but no, but it, no." They are Laura Palmer's, an incomplete collection of the missing pages. Apparently there is still one missing. So, That's
yeah,
quite
I
interesting.
was happy that it's always nice when you call something, but at the same time, it wasn't anything with any type of arrogance. It was like, yeah, I got something right. So, it's always good. One moment, what's going on here? I'm back.
Hello.
That was annoying. My internet decided it was going to crap out.
Damn lodge spirits.
Fucking spirit.
They're in the wires.
They're in the goddamn wires. Get out of
in
my
the
fucking
logs,
internet.
gay. Can't
Get
get
out
that
of my
meme
internet.
out of my head.
Get out of my fucking internet. Apparently they didn't like me talking shit about episode 6 and they cut my internet. I'm like, how dare you, it's all been fantastic. I'm like, it's not. They're like, fuck you. Okay. But yeah, I was recording the whole time, so it's all good. There's just lots of me mumbling and like...
There's lots of me going, hello, hello, hello.
Well, it was because I realised something was wrong. Because all of a sudden there was no audio coming from my headphones. I was like, this is it's weird. Well, I'm going to keep talking anyway to make my point. And then realised, like, shit. That was good. Yay.
Okay, well, we are now back after some technical issues, and I can't remember exactly where we were. I think we were talking about the... of course, it was at that point that we decided to say that you were very correct.
Yes, I was
about
right.
Pages.
Suck it up, bitches. But apparently I think the spirits of the Black Lodge disliked the fact that I was calling episode 6 piece of shit, and they had killed my internet.
It did, alas. But you are back now.
Yeah, I am back. For now. Until they strike again.
Okay, so going back to those pages, I thought it was really neat that they kind of... It's weird, especially with these past couple of episodes. I felt like... I've not felt that it's hand-holdy, but I felt quite a few times that Lynch has taken the time to state a point of fact for people who may not be sure. So, you know, the thing with the whole Bob being a passenger alongside the doppelganger as opposed to Bob possessing the body of Coop. I think this is another case where they decided to be overt and make sure that it was kind of explicit as to what was going on, so people who didn't quite understand were caught up to speed. So they noted that Laura had a dream, which she wrote about Annie and, of course, Dale. But, of course, they also remark upon the fact that it was beforehand, as in... Well, I don't think they might not actually talk about the fact that it was beforehand, but they do, because don't they... Do they mention Leland hiding the pages? I can't remember if that's correct.
They think that maybe he hid them when he came into when he killed Jacques Renault.
Yeah,
he kills one of the
Renaults,
Renaults, doesn't he, in the hospital? And he came in to confess about that, and they think that maybe that's when he did it, and maybe Bob took control or whatever. Because I think
so they kind of underlined that those she had knowledge of Coop before Coop was there to investigate her murder.
Yes,
essentially.
Yeah, they flat out say that.
Yeah, so that's I feel that was kind of needed, especially given some of the more far out shit we're going to be talking about later on.
Well, what are you talking about? It's perfectly normal.
Yeah, no, trust me, these theories are kind of warped.
Oh, God.
Giving everyone the heads up, they are kind of, they're out there. Yeah. But Frank calls Doc Haywood, which was kind of nice.
He looked...
bless him. I believe he's passed away since recording, hasn't he?
Oh, well,
I think so.
It wouldn't surprise me. I don't mean that in a horrible way.
I didn't know that he was played by... he's the father of actual Mark Frost in real life who co-wrote the series.
Is he really?
Yeah, I didn't know that until today when I was looking on Wikipedia.
Huh.
Isn't that neat?
That I didn't know.
Yeah, well, as far as Wikipedia is concerned, I mean, any idiot can edit this and put up synopsises I can steal, so...
That's true. Oh, yes, Warren Frost, yeah.
Yeah. So it was another case of a bittersweet kind of hello and goodbye to another cast member.
Oh, he died in February. Well, he was 91, so he lasted a
Yeah,
time,
absolutely.
Jesus. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd definitely be fine with that. No, I want to go at 50. No, But yeah, it was nice to see him, and he did look and sound very old.
He did, yeah.
It's again a bit difficult to see some of these returning characters sometimes when they do look
It is, isn't it? It's kind of it's very bittersweet. It's you're very happy to see them fulfill that role, knowing that they were able to come back and participate in it and be a part of it again, but also know that unfortunately, sadly, an alarming amount of them, their cases, they're passing away. But
the one that really got me there, and it always will get me the first time, was seeing the log lady. Like, that's just just really I
think so, because I mean, in some ways you can tell that Miguel Ferrer didn't look especially well.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has more lines and has been in more episodes, I don't know. It's kind of for me, it's harder for me to believe that he's dead. But
yeah, at least
with the log lady, she looked unwell, and obviously with Warren Frost, as we were talking about, he appeared very old.
Yes, I mean, those two it still makes it difficult. I mean, but yeah, the fact that, because Miguel Ferrer, he seems alright. That's the thing,
Yeah.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Someone can seem okay, and it's all what's happening inside of you. It's not
exactly. It sucks,
which isn't scary at all.
Yeah. Rest in peace, everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Of course, yeah. Just save this podcast until the heat death of the universe, which today feels remarkably close.
Yeah, I feel like the sun's about to crash into my fucking room at the moment. I'm going to be like jumping through my windows when we're done.
You guys better appreciate we've turned off our fans and air cooling units for this.
Yeah, we're struggling.
Just so they don't make noises in the background.
Like this, and tell everyone else to like it. Fucking guys.
Yes, thank you guys. Anyway, it says here, Lieutenant Knox arrives in Buckhorn from the Pentagon. Oh, this is the lady who's come to investigate the fingerprints. She's stunned to learn that Garland Briggs' fingerprints come from a body in its late 40s. Again, I feel that this was quite explicit, but it was helpful in that they very clearly laid out the fact that there's a discrepancy of 25 years.
Yeah.
Regarding his body, and the fact that he clearly has been using some kind of, to quote Doctor Who, timey-wimey magic to not age much further than he was before he supposedly, quote-unquote, died.
Exactly. And let's not forget that in the Black Lodge, time doesn't really move. Time isn't a linear thing. It's
exactly, yeah,
fucking insane. So they could have been Mr. C or Bob could have taken him there and then just dumped him when they needed to.
I feel bad for the character, because it appears as if he's definitely been used somehow to because his fingerprints have been showing up throughout the years, including this most recent murder scene. So it's just, it's clear that because we know Agent Briggs was a very kind-hearted character, that unfortunately he's definitely being kind of manipulated in some way, whether dead or alive.
And absolutely mutilated, like head detached, and he's had the cut to shit. So
and of course Dougie's wedding ring was found inside his stomach as well.
Yes, which is really, really strange.
Yes.
But, I did actually notice one thing. I'm certain this is intentional. When obviously in the scene, the lieutenant, she calls up Ernie Hudson.
Yeah,
good Ernie Hudson, who is he's a general, isn't he? Yes, he's colonel.
Yeah.
He's a colonel. I noticed that on his plaque on his desk said Colonel Davis, and I'm certain, absolutely dead certain, that is an intentional tribute to the actor that played Garland Briggs, Major Garland Briggs, who was cool. His name was Don Davis.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely dead certain that is an intentional little.
No, I think you're right. I mean, compared to some of the Easter eggs people think they're finding in these episodes, I mean, I can't 100% confirm or verify, but there are several people arguing over the whistling that Cole was doing in this episode. Some people believe he was whistling apart from a Rammstein song called Engel, which makes sense because obviously Lynch was a fan of Rammstein and brought them to the kind of mainstream in a sort of like English-speaking Western world with Lost Highway.
Doesn't surprise me.
A much sort of bigger profile this side of Germany when he used their music in Lost Highway. So it could be, but other people have been saying, no, that sounds nothing like it, and huge arguments over what essentially boils down to, I don't know, 6 or 7 notes whistled by...
Oh my goodness. It's the character whistling while he waits for someone.
Yeah, clearly it means something.
Oh, what does it mean?
Decipher, analyse, 48 hours later. Yes.
He's in front of a painting. Oh, what does that symbolise? Maybe it's just David Lynch whistling.
Maybe it is. It's
the character of Gordon Cole whistling while he waits for someone to return with information on what the fuck is going on.
Yes. Not every scene is a huge statement, but we will get on to the shots that definitely are later on.
Oh, yeah. But that wasn't one of them, and I think people were just desperate to find something.
Well, before we move on, we mentioned him in passing before, but I think it's safe to call him a spirit, seeing as we've seen his head embark its body and float off into the air. So
yes.
I think it's safe to say he's some sort of spirit. Now, some people have been arguing that he looks an awful lot like a spirit that was seen in Fire Walk With Me. You know the scene above the shop?
Oh, I wonder if they mean...
There's a character who's wearing a kind of a beanie, and apparently... I don't know if, again, because I haven't read the book yet, but I definitely will at some point. It's hard for me to confirm or deny whether this is just speculation or actual truth. But many people were saying that apparently that spirit in that scene above the shop is supposed to be the woodcutter, who apparently is the log lady's husband, and therefore is the spirit of the log who passes the messages. This is what I was reading. And some people are arguing that it's him, but he looks burned, and apparently the log lady's husband did supposedly die in a fire or something.
Okay, yeah, I mean that I can see that, but the thing is, the character they're referring to, he's seen in Fire Walk With Me, and he's not burnt, and he's actually in Fire Walk With Me, he's strangely played by Jürgen Prochnow.
Okay, I don't know who this is.
Do you read Sutter Kane? He played Sutter Kane in The Mouth of Madness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's one of those actors that has been in everything and anything.
Yeah,
very good, very very good, very solid. I very much like him anyway. But yeah, he's the character they're talking about. I mean, and he's also got a hilarious fake beard on in the scene as well. But I mean, it could be. I don't want to say it's not, because it could turn out to be to be him. But it would be weird if he was shown. If they're saying it is that character that's in Fire Walk With Me, it could be the spirit of the log. But if they're saying, oh, it's the woodcutter from Fire Walk With Me, then it's like, well, why does he look so fucking different?
I think that's the Occam's razor to it. The one thing that blows that plot out of the water is the fact that he didn't appear like that beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that appearances and things are going to change.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it might just be someone we are not aware of yet. But he sure as hell gets about. He was running up and down the corridor.
I mean, I spotted him in the distance, obviously, when he's out of focus initially, and finally because they finally started using music a bit more, it seems. And I still think maybe it's going to be like, once Cooper's back to his own self, there will be more music, and it's like that's the music coming back in. But I could be talking complete bollocks. But like, then there's like this just really, really nice little ambience, like just rumbling sound, as you could just see him getting closer and closer in the background.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was she sees him.
Does she acknowledge him?
No, she looks at him and she's like, oh, and she goes back into the morgue, and it's like she looks at him and she never once
thinks it might be a bit strange to see a man.
Yeah, it's like, excuse me, detective, why is there a homeless man walking around around your station with no escort?
I definitely need to watch this episode again, because I didn't pick up on that.
I'm sure she turns around. Maybe she looks around and she can't see him, but she does turn around. And obviously then we see him walk past. So it was good to see him again. Still looks completely bonkers.
Yes, he does.
So, yeah, I've just seen an image now of of him, and the hat's different, and I don't know. Maybe
it's one of those things where in the right light it looks like it, but
yeah,
it could easily be not as well. So we will see as it pans out.
Or maybe it's David Bowie's character.
Oh dear.
Maybe it's Philip Jeffries.
I was going to say the way he was running down the corridor was a bit kind of like Jeffries-esque.
It's him. He's come back. He's undercover.
Oh boy.
If only. That'd be funny. But yeah. So we have that. There's a fair amount happens in this one, really.
Yeah, we'll touch on another couple of small points before we get to the big ones. So, as we mentioned before, Andy arranges to meet the farmer who owns the truck driven by Richard Horne in Hit and Run, but he never turns up. Very trusting of Andy.
Typical Andy. I really liked the scene when he's waiting for him, and then the camera just kind of zooms in and approaches the doorway, which is kind of ajar, and again you've got that loud rumbling. Yeah, that was really, really a little creeped out. I was expecting something to happen. It's like, oh, what's going on in there? It's going to be really bad. Someone's dead. I mean, we do jest a bit about Andy, but I feel like he did have a bit of gravitas in that scene. You know, like you can tell he's a bit more of an experienced police officer because the way he kind of literally just has to point at the vehicle, and the guy is like shaking and stuttering. And I was like, "That's your truck, right?" Oh no, I can't tell about it.
But I saw someone describe it as he literally should have finished his sentence with 4:30. You swear? Because literally expecting the guy to turn up was a bit. A bit.
But then it's like, oh, cool, Andy's good at his. Oh, Andy.
Oh, bless Andy. Yeah.
It's like you're nearly there, but you're still slightly off. You're almost there, Andy. You're almost. You've got elements that work, but then the rest of your policing just don't know. No, Andy, no.
I do feel it's nice that because we're dealing with a different Sheriff Truman than the one in the original series, but he seems very open to the kind of the fringe elements of things that other people living in the real world might not actually kind of buy into in terms of the supernatural elements.
Yeah.
The sort of the way he acknowledges those pages and stuff. So I feel like him, Andy Hawke, you know, they're kind of like this old guard that kind of. That's why I just want to forgive Andy and give him a cuddle because
Andy,
he's one of the good ones. He's not a Chad. Let's face it.
Yeah, Chad's a dick.
I saw someone describe this episode as having the perfect amount of Chad because he doesn't appear in it.
I still want to see more of Deputy Briggs though.
Deputy Briggs.
Yeah, Bobby.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, Bobby Briggs.
I don't want it to be just a fleeting kind of cameo for him. I want him to have more of a role.
I want him to bust the drug scene and shoot Chad in the face or the dick. No.
Yeah,
both in the dick and then the face when he's already dead. And then it happens. Like, oh, I called that as well. Apparently.
Yeah. No. Well,
I was just joking. Don't do it.
In the wings.
Don't do it, Bobby. That's fucking horrible, man.
It would not be the first time he shot someone, which I still can't get over for some reason.
Yeah, poor
It's
Bobby.
like he's a police officer now, and it's fine. No, he killed a guy.
He killed a man. I killed a man. I wonder if he actually can. No, maybe he can. I don't fucking know.
Didn't he bury his body or try to? I can't remember.
I think he might have tried. He tried.
I think he was like, "We need to bury the body," and Laura Palmer's just like laughing. That's my memory of the scene anyway. Anyway, so yes, let's talk about Cooper, and then we'll move on to the the main thing with Diane and Mr. C. So,
yes.
Cooper, words cannot explain. There are other people who are starting to get a bit ticked off with the whole kind of Cooper as Dougie taking a while to come to his senses thing. I'm firmly in the opposite camp. I think it could go till episode 13, 14 before I'd
God.
Yeah, I'm not one to tempt fate, but it could go that long before I'd seriously be going, okay, right, we need to wrap the Dougie stuff up because I don't know, it's just the way he's kind of, things like badges please him, the way the police officers are there to talk about his stolen car, and Janie's doing all the talking.
Yeah, and they've got no problem with that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be okay with that.
Most of the people in his life seem to kind of go, "Oh, Dougie's just having an episode again." Which says a lot about Dougie.
And I was like, Dougie, are you okay? Dougie Jones.
Dougie Jones.
She's like, Jade give 2 rides. Like, huh. Okay.
Yeah, but I love how that guy came in. You know, the guy who he accused of lying.
Oh, Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, and was just kind of standing there, and he wasn't even acknowledging. He was just like drawing into his pad. It was perfect.
When he hears the mention of the police, he's like, I need to go make some phone calls.
I got a phone call from me.
So one thing that I noticed actually, and it seems to be a running theme with some of the female characters in the show.
Yeah.
It's weird. Obviously, Christabel does it because she's just useless and is overacting. But even the female characters that came in to tell Dougie about the police, a lot of them they walk like supermodels, and it's really bugging me. Like she kind of walks away like swing it like that was it. My aunt put it best. She said that some of them walk like the Martian from Mars Attacks.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And
yeah,
it's like,
that
what
scene.
are you doing? It's like, why are you people don't walk like that in real life because it's stupid and uncomfortable.
I can't quite work out who that character is supposed to be anyway in relation to Dougie, because she's kind of almost made passes at him.
Yeah,
like when she was saying, "Oh, I'll let you into the toilets," you know, the female toilets or whatever, a couple of episodes back, and he like actually did need to go to the toilet, but she thought it was something else.
She wasn't kind of like sexual ploy.
Yeah, I'm Dougie's nice, but I don't think I quite understand.
He's apparently a bit of a ladies' man.
Yeah.
He likes the ladies.
Oh, boy.
Because Jade gives 2 rides.
Of course. But, of course, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the scene with Ike the Spike attacking Cooper in the middle of essentially what is that kind of plaza outside his building.
Yeah.
And the appearance again of the arm. The brain tree saying, "Squeeze his hand off."
Squeeze his hand off. Squeeze his hand off. Like, what the fuck, man?
That
this
was
thing
beautiful.
Was blood.
And clearly he did enough, because after the scene we see them removing a piece of his skin from the gun. He managed to squeeze it so hard that I guess the flesh kind of died and stuck to the gun.
Yeah, that was so weird. Like, I also like the idea that this hitman is like, I have a long range weapon, so I'm going to run up to him.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's got my arm.
He just misses the spike so much, you know.
It's because he's an embarrassing character who's not intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because David Lynch likes midgets. But yeah, that was. They got me. I think they did get me because for a moment he started moving quick. And it was obviously the FBI training. It was the combat training. It was like, Scoover.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did like how he kept punching him or like chopping him in the throat. Like, fucking shut up. Like, yes, kill him. Although the stock punch sound effects were really weird, but
yeah, we'll have to listen for that this time.
Sounded like in the cartoon. But yeah, for a moment, for a brief second, we got where we got a bit of Coop. It's like, he's moving quickly. It's Coop. Oh, he's got me again. I did like the when the police were interviewing them afterwards, and everyone's basically like talking shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he pushed me out of the way. I'm like, fucking cares. And it goes down to the little girl, and she's like, he smelt funny.
Yeah, I've heard several people saying that he smelt funny means apparently something to do with Garmon Bozier and Lodge Spirits, and I was thinking, well, maybe he just didn't smell very nice. You know, not everything has got to be this grand statement that means so many other things.
Yeah, maybe he smelt funny because he's been running around stabbing people.
Yeah, exactly.
And he thought about that, you know. I mean, fucking hell, it looks hot as shit there anyway.
He clearly doesn't change his clothes either.
No, it looks hot as shit.
Exactly.
Maybe he's been running around all day.
Yeah.
You fucking judge him. He's like, oh, must be Garmin's Bozier. Maybe he just stinks, right? He's got a fucking allergen problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Janie was saying that how, Dougie rushed into the ground and was like, yo, you fucking don't. And I punched him in the head and kicked him. It's like, not sure that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but oh, bless.
Very funny though. But yeah, the dead skin on the gun, which is really, really bizarre.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how these things will come together. Because I'm believing if Coop is appearing on TV, sort of, it seems a bit strange that people wouldn't see him and recognize him in the same way that he came up on the radar of of Cole and Albert, because they must have these feelers everywhere.
Well, I hope they would.
Well, yeah,
Fingers
because
crossed.
I really want them to find, our Cooper, because at the moment they're still sort of investigating Mr. C. That gets us nicely on to Diane and her visit to the prison to talk with Mr. C.
Yes.
Yeah, so how did you... Well, first let's talk about Diane, because...
Hey, Tom. You know Tom? Fuck you, Tom. It's great. It's like, I think that means she likes you. Or maybe she doesn't. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, she definitely seems to have some sort of aggression problem.
She seems to really dislike the FBI.
Yeah. Well, see, and I mean, we'll get on to some of the weirder things that people have been saying, but to me, the way I watched the scene and the way it developed, to me, it sort of implied that essentially she has not seen Dale since he set off for Twin Peaks. And presumably when he stopped making... some people saying he stopped making tapes for about the time that Annie got introduced as a character. But assuming that he made tapes all the way up until going into the Black Lodge... the reason that she appears to be so angry and upset with him is because he has essentially ignored her or not been in contact with her for 25 years. Now, the amount of people I have seen this week say that apparently they think that the one night that she saw him last was he was Mr. C and not Dale, and apparently some people saying that he slept with her or he was mean to her or something. It's just, I don't understand where people are getting this from.
Yeah, I see, because I did think that initially that always mean that maybe Bob had his wicked way of it, but at the same time, she walked in there and she immediately knew that wasn't him.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you get that sense during the scene, then afterwards she says to Cole, that's not him. There was something missing, sort of like his heart or whatever it is. She kind of like
she's basically like that is not the Cooper we know. She knew because she's in there. She doesn't talk to him for very long. Like she clocks on immediately.
Yeah,
that something is not right.
Yeah, some people have been saying that they think the thing she said about the night together was kind of a trick, that she was kind of saying something false to see if the
that's probably more likely, actually.
And apparently that some people were saying that the way Mr. C kind of acts in terms of saying that night is kind of like people who cold read people and kind of just go, I play along. So I don't know if that, I'd have to watch the scene again, I think, to see if that has any merit, but it definitely
that would make more sense.
Could be the case.
And that would explain why she says, she's like, please, blah, blah, what night am I talking about? And she's like, fuck this isn't him, this is creeping me out. I'm going, hey, nope.
Yeah.
She nopes out really quick. What made me laugh before obviously when she's telling him to fuck off is, unfortunately, fucking Tammy rears her useless fucking head again. Because it's strange, like it's almost like she's like hiding behind Albert, and I completely forgot about her because she has no screen presence besides being attractive. And she comes out from behind Albert, and I audibly just went, ugh. And she starts talking to Diane, and I'm sat there, and it's like time just stopped, and I was just looking, and like on the left we have someone who cannot act in the slightest and is completely fucking bereft of any kind of acting talent. On the right, we have Laura Dern. I like Laura Dern. Laura Dern, very good. And then immediately after that was, what's your name, Tammy? Fuck off, Tammy. I was like, yay! Like, she knows. It's almost like they know. Fuck off, Tammy. Go away.
And she essentially just existed to exposit that information about the fingerprints, didn't she?
And the problem is that that could be Albert.
It could be, yeah, absolutely.
Because
he is a forensic scientist or, examiner.
He could have been looking at them going to see Diane initially. Like, I'm not saying new character. It's like, no, it's like if you've already got a character that can do that thing, have them do it.
Exactly.
Especially if some of the time he's just standing around reacting to Gordon. Even though they did have a funny exchange when Gordon pretends to when he's talking to Albert, and I was like, she won't come. I think you should go and talk to her. And he's like, sorry? It's like, you heard me.
Yeah.
Will you come with me? And so he goes, will you come with me? And he just says, ask me nicely. So like, say please. And like, what? He's like, you heard exactly what I said, Cole.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of Cole and Cole like begging Albert, please Albert, come along, I'm scared. I like the idea of him begging Albert Rosenfeld to do that.
You can tell that they have a history of kind of like putting up with each other's shit, like to a certain level.
Oh, Albert, I love Albert.
Yeah.
Oh, he's miserable, just like me. No, but yeah. So obviously that was one of the biggest things was Diane immediately going, no, creepy, no, fucking get off, no, it's creeping me up. That's not him. It looks like him, but it's not. Scary, creepy. And
this leads us on to. Sorry to interrupt, but this leads us on to. We can get some more shiny crowns out of the drawer because we both called that Mr. Strawberry was a dog or some kind of pet. Do you remember that?
Yes, you did. I think it was you that you called it, actually. I said that maybe it was like it might have been me that said that it was like an alias of the warden. But I think you're definitely the one that called it being a dog.
Me.
Shiny crown for me. We both get crowns.
Yeah, Mr. Strawberry and his a lot of this scene, I don't think we're meant to understand everything that's being said, just enough to understand that Mr. C clearly has this kind of overarching network of people he kind of owns by order of having information or dirt on them or blackmail, those kinds of things. So he has a kind of a network, and whoever happened to be the people who picked him up, he probably have something on them or know someone or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll ever get a full explanation as to, we won't be sat down and told, oh, this is what the 4 dogs' legs were, these are who they belong to, all that kind of thing. I think it's more just kind of to give a sense that Mr. C has had a long time to build this network, as evidenced by that lovely photo of him in, I guess, Hawaii or...
Oh, that photo.
Yeah.
Oh, that photo.
With palm trees. It was beautiful. Elegant.
It's like, oh, that Photoshop. Who took that?
It's beautiful.
Who took that picture though? He's like walking towards
I know,
it.
but I've seen people like already trying to dissect that photo, talking about the dualism with the palm trees and stuff. I'm like, oh, God's sake.
Yeah, lads, no.
Yeah.
Just no. It's just someone took a picture of him.
Yeah.
In like the Bahamas, wherever it was. Like, just fucking deal with it.
It's an awesome
fucking
picture.
photo. It is. He's got some serious swagger going.
Yeah. Some of that Negan lean.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But Mr. C manages to orchestrate his escape from the prison. I'd be interesting to see exactly what kind of bullshit excuse they give Cole as to how he escaped.
He got away.
Another thing, someone brought it up, and once they brought it up, I realised that I 100% agreed, and I couldn't see why. And essentially, it's a plot hole. In that we didn't see Cole ask about the phone call at all, did we?
No, he didn't.
No, which is something you think he would kind of follow up, especially after he said, let me know.
Yeah, you think
after he's had his private phone call.
As he waves his hand, hello. Yeah, you think he would actually. That's a good point.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there. He, it might just be off-screen stuff.
It might be,
but it seems clear that the warden probably would not have divulged much information about it anyway, because clearly he's involved and inextricably kind of linked to Mr. C in a way that he wants to get Mr. C as far away as possible from him. So, fair enough, Mr. C is scary.
Mrs. Ski, yeah, Mrs. C, Mrs. Ski is very scary. I'm still wondering if we're actually going to see any more of poor old Matthew Lillard.
I know. Oh, I love Matthew. I'm following him on Instagram now.
It's like his wife's dead. Sure they can. That's going to come back and go.
No love lost there. To be fair, they clearly kind of were sniping at each other.
Oh yeah,
but
I think more so that it's like, well, maybe that's going to work to his advantage. Like, well, you can't have done that.
It might I don't know what's going to happen. It might just be another one of those things that kind of, it was the MacGuffin to get us into the thing about Brooks's body and the fingerprints.
Yeah, it could be. That's true.
But it would be nice to see him again. I agree.
No, yeah, it would be good, but maybe we just won't. Maybe he'll just stay in there forever.
Every time I shut my eyes and I think of this is going to sound awful. I don't always shut my eyes and think of Matthew Lillard, but when I do, the first thing I think of is like a Shaggy kind of zoinks, and then I think, have you seen 13 Ghosts?
Not all of it. I caught some of it.
13 Ghosts is a very cheesy, stupid, but kind of fun horror movie. I think circa 2000, 2001. It's got Tony Shalhoub, who plays television's Monk.
Oh God, he's in it.
Yeah, he's in it. He plays the father of a family. He just wants to save his family. He cares about his family. Okay, you get it?
Yeah.
And Matthew Lillard is in that as a kind of like a paranormal investigator type, sort of Ghostbuster light guy who comes in and basically just plays the role of Hudson from Aliens for the whole movie, going, "Oh, it's game over, man! It's game over. We're fucked."
Oh God!
Because apparently they've been major spoilers for 13 Ghosts, I guess. They they managed to get lured into this kind of like house that's essentially kind of like a big booby trap built by this eccentric millionaire who,
of course,
went and captured a load of ghosts and put them in the basement. So
because of course,
yeah, of course.
What else is he going to build?
Every time I think of Matthew, because I mean, I've seen Scream, obviously, but I don't have the same kind of connection with it, I think, as people who saw it when it came out. I saw it much later, even after things like Scary Movie. So
oh, blimey, oh yeah,
exactly, because Scary Movie was a big deal when I was in secondary school. And everyone, bought the DVD and watched it, but I'd never actually even seen Scream at that point. So I don't associate Matthew Lillard with Scream. I associate him with Scooby-Doo and 13 Ghosts, and now of course Twin Peaks.
Yeah, looking old as shit.
I know.
He's getting old, but
if you feel bad, follow his Instagram. He doesn't look as old in real life. I think
maybe
the lighting, the harsh lighting and stuff makes him look a bit older.
Yeah, I was thinking the same with Naomi Watts as well.
Yeah, she does look a bit older, doesn't she?
I'm like, last time I saw her, she didn't look that old. What's going on? So maybe she's been made to look slightly older because she's supposed to be like in a marriage with maybe they tried to make her look as old as Carl McLachlan.
I think they tried to make her look a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not frumpy, but just kind of make her look like a tired kind of housewife who's had enough of Dougie's shit.
Who's had like a lot of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she looks a bit tired, like not in a bad way, just in kind of like a world weary kind of way. Like she's had to put up with stuff.
Perhaps, yeah.
And she's had enough, and 25,000 is the final offer.
Put my foot down.
Yeah. So, essentially, Mr. C escaped. We covered that. A couple of other things to talk about.
There's one other thing that happened, which was actually there's one little thing that I did want to mention that I think we forgot about was Jerry. Jerry Horne is completely off his tits.
How do we forget about Jerry?
He's completely off his tits in the woods of Twin Peaks somewhere, and he gets a phone call I think because Ben's trying to contact him. Poor old Ben.
Yeah.
Who really does seem to have actually turned over a new leaf. Well, he did in the show, but it looks like it has actually carried over, which is nice. And he's calling, he's like, I can't find my car. Someone's stolen my car. Like, no.
Yeah.
Jerry, where are you? I think I'm high. And then freaks out and then hangs up on Ben, who acts like it's just a regular thing now.
Yeah. Well, I get the sense that he is kind of like that. I mean, the last time we saw him, he was in the woods watching Dr. Amp's broadcast.
Yes. I like that. Yeah, there was, and then right at the end, there was a strange humming sound coming from the lamp.
Yes,
in that office, which was really
arguably coming from the lamp. I've heard some people speculate that they think it's coming from the wood itself. So that's why it kind of moves around the room.
Oh yes, of course. No, yeah, because the camera zooms in on the wood at the end, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
So and of course, what was the character's name? I forget. But the lady who got trapped in the wood.
Oh yes. Josie. Jodie. Is it Jodie? No, fuck.
Josie. It's
Josie. Josie.
It's Sheriff Truman's girlfriend, wasn't it?
Yeah. The woman. The thing. She's the first. She's the first character you see in the show. in the pilot, she's the first character.
I've already seen people saying, "Oh, apparently she's the first person you see in the pilot, and she's humming, and apparently oh, now she's humming, she's making a noise in the wood." It's like, oh, for God's sake!
And she's only doing it now.
Yeah, exactly.
She's only doing it 25 years later. When the cameras are on.
It's happening again.
Jocelyn, that's it, Jocelyn.
That's it.
I mean, maybe it's her, and she's just like, it's just the spirit moving around the wood. I don't fucking know. It might be nothing. It might be something. It might be everything.
Well, even Ben kind of tied it to the appearance of the key. So
yes. So maybe it's. I liked that. When he reminisces about Laura, he looks again very, very sad.
Yeah.
And it's good that it just shows that the death of this one character, this one person, still really affects a lot of them.
Yes, well, for want of a better word, it resonates.
Yes.
Much like the wood in the Great Northern.
Oh, it's just Packer. She's humming. But she's only doing it now because it's convenient.
Because it's happening again.
Because it is happening again.
And he seems to turn away a kind of an advance by his member of staff.
He does.
I still think Ben Horne is now good guy Ben Horne. He's done with womanizing.
Yeah, that was, she was obviously making a pass, and he kind of just looked a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, he did.
Because he's trying to, because by the end of the original series, he's a better person, isn't he?
Exactly.
After he has his mental breakdown and thinks he's
it reenacts the Civil War.
Yeah, and he thinks he's one of the generals, and Bobby Briggs has to get involved to help him. It's like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, by the end, he's because I remember, like, I'm sure I remember in this story, like, 'cause obviously he always had like a cigar, and the way he would articulate with the cigar as well. And by the end of the original series, because he's turned over a new leaf, he's just got like carrots. He's always got a carrot in his mouth instead. But yeah, it looks like he's still trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
Which is good, because it's the same with Bobby Briggs. It's nice to see these characters.
It's nice to see growth to them.
Yeah, and because they'd started to improve themselves towards the tail end of Bobby Briggs was getting better earlier than Benjamin Horne, because it's not really until after he finds out that Leland killed Laura Palmer and he has a mental breakdown. But Bobby was getting better before then.
Yeah.
And even fucking Mike wasn't he? Because he was helping Nadine. But yeah, it's just nice to see these characters where it's like, no, they continue to just do good. Yeah. So sometimes it's just nice to see. This isn't Game of Thrones where everyone just dies horribly. They still get depressed and stuff.
Yeah. But the lady, I can't remember her name, who Beverly, I think is the character's name, played by, I think it's Ashley Judd.
Yes.
She then goes home to her, presumably her husband, who is clearly terminally ill in some way.
Yeah.
And rages at him.
Like, this is uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable, a scene, definitely.
I mean, obviously that's intention, but still, I was just like, oof.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, don't you ruin this for me. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Dude has cancer.
Exactly.
Oh, what a selfish bastard. I'm lucky to have this job, don't you ruin this for me. It's like, don't you sulk, like, it's got cancer.
Oh, boy. Yeah, well, okay, with that, we've pretty much summed up the episode. There are two more things I specifically want to talk about. First is the sweeping scene. I feel like the sweeping scene, the status I posted after watching the episode, I wrote, Twin Peaks is great. No spoilers, but we had one shot in episode 7 that was simultaneously a metaphor for the plot that's coming together. Literally, separate strands are being swept into one whole. So it's like it's kind of a statement about the culmination of the plot at this point and things coming together. Yes. It's an absurd joke. The fact that we cut to the every time we cut to the Bang Bang Bar now, there's kind of like a Pavlovian response in anyone watching to go, no. The next thing I'm going to see is starring Kyle MacLachlan, and I can't take it anymore.
No.
And the fact that the scene goes on for just so long. When that phone rang, I was like, oh, thank God, something is, it's not the end yet. It can't be the end yet. I have taken to flicking the the button just to see how much time is left on the episode, so I can go, oh yeah, no, this is just a fake out.
It's okay. It's okay.
I said it was a revelry of the directorial freedom that Lynch has with season 3. The fact that I can't think of any other show on television that has a shot that lasts 2 minutes and however long you said it was, like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's like 130 seconds or something. So.
Yeah, I can't think of anywhere else that would happen on broadcast or cable television. No. It's amazing, it's beautiful, and it's a statement.
Yeah, it just shows like we've already, we've said in the past, just how much just they've given it complete control. They've given complete control to him, and I've said it before, I have to say it again, but I have to really commend Showtime for it, because it shows a lot of balls, because especially when things come back as well. It's very rare that the original creators. I mean, obviously they get the original creators in, but there's always meddling, and you hear stuff about behind the scenes. And we want it to be like this, and this has to be in it. But
there's very much a tendency to play it safe with those things as well. So we've talked about before on this podcast, in that retreads that don't cover a lot of new ground and just essentially are designed to be a kind of a reunion for the cast. Yeah. That's safe. That's playing it safe. So the fact that this takes risks.
Yeah, this is exactly what it's everything Lynch wants it to be, which is good. Just hope that we fucking get Cooper back.
Yeah, well, I watched a really good breakdown. Returning all the way back to episode 1, I saw a very good breakdown of the glass box scene, and how it's kind of quite a good analogy for TV, in the fact that we're watching this glass box, which essentially is a TV, waiting for something to happen, and all of the cameras and everything are focused on it, and there's nothing on it until David Lynch decides, okay, some harrowing, dark, like twisted fantasy is going to play out here, and everyone's going to die, and the break. I'll put the link in the description. I can't remember who did the video now, but it was a very interesting breakdown of that idea of the box. But yeah, just moving on so that we aren't here all day. Richard Horne is the subject of many theories at the moment. If you remember in this episode, Audrey was briefly mentioned by the Doctor. Yes. Apparently, after the events of the end of season 2, where she was involved in that kind of, when we were just talking about Benjamin Horne and the fact that he reenacted the Civil War in his in one of the rec rooms in his hotel. That's a thing that happened. Yeah. Also, apparently, Audrey Horne was involved in a bank heist. That was a thing that happened.
Yeah, she's there, and that's it. She'd handcuffed herself to the vault, and then the old, as he was called, the old man from RoboCop opens his security box, and there's a bomb in there, and it was like the last joke from David Warner. Yeah. It's like, haha, fuck you, boom, and it's like, apparently she survived that.
Yes. And she is, well, we don't know if she still is in a coma, but she was brought in at that point in a coma to the hospital. And we also received word that apparently Annie was taken into that hospital too. Yes. And we've now had confirmation that after the scene where Doppelkoop bangs his head on the mirror and says, "How's Annie? How's Annie?" That he was also submitted to the same hospital, essentially Mr. C. Yeah. So, a lot of the theories revolve around, and there's not an easy way to say this. They revolve around the fact that people think, they hypothesize that Mr. C essentially raped Audrey Horne while she was in her coma, and this is why we have this child, Richard Horne, who is, by all accounts, a bad egg. We've seen him kill a child, and he's essentially a small-time drug dealer in a town as well. He's not very pleasant. So this is the current theory that's doing the rounds, and I don't like it for a few reasons. First off, because and it's not like Lynch to shy away from dark subject matter. I mean, like you were saying before, that Bob, through the use of Leland, did awful, horrible things.
Mm.
So it's not like the subject matter has not been breached by the show or by Lynch before. It just, I don't know, it just seems, you know how we've talked on our podcast before about quote unquote the rules.
Yes.
This just seems like a really kind of like, I don't know, I just can't see this being written down in sentence form, you know, like this actually happened or happens. It just seems so cliche. And I'm kind of hoping that it's not the case, mainly because of that. But also, I feel like I'm really hoping that Audrey is not in a coma anymore. And I don't know, I'm just hoping that Richard Horne, as he is called, is essentially just, you know, we're going to get different kind of explanation as to exactly who he is, so that this theory can kind of get a line through it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stupid theory because, okay, cool, and that's why he's evil. Mm-hmm. Can you explain Laura Palmer? She got caught up in stuff, but she wasn't fucking evil.
Exactly. And although Mr. C is, you know, Mr. C is like in a completely different league to Richard Horne.
Yeah.
And you think there would be, if indeed this was the case, that there would be a lot more uneasiness and weirdness to him than he actually has at the moment. He just exhibits the signs of a drugged up creep.
Yeah.
You know, he's not in the same league as Mr. C. So although he had, you know, I don't think he intended to kill that boy. So that was more just a kind of a side effect of him being a drugged up creep.
Also, we don't know how old he is.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of implied that the ages could match. The problem is that at the moment, the information that we're given, there's not a lot to dissuade this theory. So that's the kind of thing, is that until, as Lynch has been doing, these kind of scenes where we get a kind of a concrete answer of sorts, until we get that, people are going to speculate every possible permutation of characters under the sun and what could have happened. This theory seems to be gaining traction, though, which is I've seen it so many times on the subreddit this week.
I mean, they're really reaching, like, all they mentioned was just, of course they're all admitted to the same fucking hospital. It's a small town.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like, and all he says is he got up, fully dressed, and just left. Even though when I called him, he just looked at me and then just kept going.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just why would he go? I'm going to rape Audrey Horne. Like, no, I'd fucking rape anyone.
Well, exactly. And see, the thing is, I mean, I've seen the thing I've seen people say, sort of like in retaliation to this theory, is the thing that I think makes the most sense, is that he did not go to that hospital to do that.
No,
he went to that hospital because Annie was taken to that hospital. Now, basically, he comes out of the Black Lodge and awakens in that room or what have you. And his words are, "How's Annie? How's Annie?" Annie's clearly on his mind, as it was on Coop's, in terms of trying to save her beforehand. And I believe it's Fire Walk With Me, we get confirmation that Annie had that ring. The ring that Mr. C then used somehow to create Doppelganger, Dougie Jones.
Yeah, Dougie Jones. Yeah, it's in the missing pieces.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? So, Annie was in possession of that ring, and we know that since then Mr. C gained possession of that ring and created Dougie Jones. So, it seems to me that was his clear intent in going to the hospital, and that is what he did at the hospital, was somehow get that ring.
Yeah, even though I think it's the nurse that picks it up, but yeah, still, yeah.
Yeah, so it would be really interesting to see how, well, essentially it would be great. I don't know if was it Heather Graham who played Annie?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if she's been confirmed for this season or not, but it would be interesting to get some kind of idea as to what's happened to Annie, because I think that would shed a lot of light onto and Audrey as well, would shed a lot of light onto this, so that we can lose the more skeevy scumbag theories. And
yeah, I think that's people really reaching.
It is. I think it's people trying to connect all the dots when we're episode 7, right? So 2 more episodes and we're halfway through. I know that sounds awful, and I wish it wasn't so. But, you cannot connect all the dots halfway through. It's not going to happen.
That's crazy. That's absolutely. I mean, again, like I said, people are really, really They're really reaching with it because it's just, I don't understand why would he do it? What's the reason?
Exactly.
Why would? There's no.
The only thing you can
what's the
argue
end game?
is that it's to create kind of feelings of fear and upset and all those things that kind of create Garmonbozu or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
Garmonbozu.
yeah, Well, time will tell. But
I'm looking forward to when we find out that's not the case and everyone can shut the fuck up about it. Cause it's stupid.
Because I really, although we've seen bits and pieces of Richard Horne, I don't think he's. Well, he could be integral to the plot for all I know. I don't want to say anything stupid, but he doesn't strike me as a main character. So
no, he's just a dick that's involved in dickish things that's going on in Twin Peaks. That poor old Bobby's probably going to have to clean up.
Yeah, much like during Bobby's time, there were small time drug dealers and that kind of thing. It was all about the kind of the underbelly of the town, and that still exists. And I think kind of characters like Richard Horne and what's Balthazar Getty's character? Is called Red?
Red.
Yeah. So I think there's kind of showing that this town still has this kind of seedy underbelly side. So.
Yeah, I mean, because it's right on the Canadian border, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but anyone that's saying, "Oh, that's what it means," is just full of shit and reaching. Because I just, no, I don't buy it at all.
Especially at this stage, it's you guys, you're trying to connect all the dots, but we don't have all the dots yet. So
exactly, and also, sometimes people are just evil. Sometimes people are just bad.
Yeah.
There doesn't always have to be a fucking reason for it. It's like, oh, maybe he's Bob's son or Mr. C's son. Like, that's stupid.
It just seems a bit, like I said, it just seems a bit too cliched. It's a bit like kind of like it's like a.
Oh, I wonder if that's the twist.
Oh,
he was in the same hospital. Oh, he was in the same hospital as this character, so that must mean that he's given him magic powers. Maybe he went to school with Red, and that's how Red knows all the magic tricks.
Yeah, it's just it's linking everything up
like
way
that.
too conveniently. To
He'll be going, oh well, Red used a coin, and then Hawk found the pages because he dropped a coin. Must be a connection. It's
Matt,
like,
I think you're absolutely right. There is 100% a connection there. I'm going to write 4,000 words on exactly why that is the case.
Balthazar Getty, he's the key to all of this.
Well,
he's the funniest character we've ever had.
Clearly, this happens in the same universe as Lost Highway. So,
well, obviously, yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome if he was the character from Lost Highway. That'd be so good. But he's not.
I'm gonna go back and watch the episode for a multitude of reasons now, but especially I'm going to listen for that Rammstein whistle. See if that's the case.
Oh, it's like people are arguing about it. It's like, guys, can we? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
There's times when you just have to go, I think maybe I've been on the internet for a bit too long today.
Yeah, I love the subreddit and I hate the subreddit. It's for every one person who writes something that genuinely makes you think, oh my god, it all fits, there's 100 people, parroting theories like this. I mean, It's funny, we mentioned the conversation between Jerry and Ben at the beginning of the episode. Someone had written out the full lines of the conversation because they were kind of analysing what the conversation meant and whether it had a deeper meaning other than Jerry's clearly stoned.
Guys, I think it's just that Jerry is on drugs.
Yeah, but someone said, someone wrote out all of the lines of conversation and then someone said, this conversation, you should read it backwards. And then someone underneath had written, holy shit, in capital letters. I was like, you read it backwards and for a second you kind of go, yeah, this is kind of creepy because like if you go back and read that conversation backwards, the way they're kind of speaking, it could be, you could play the conversation backwards and it would make sense. But I also think that's completely someone just saw it typed out and go, ooh, I'll read it backwards. Oh, this must mean everything.
Yeah, it's when people get us, it's getting to the levels of like Lost. I mean, Lost can't hold a candle to this, but like with Lost, everyone was like, "Oh, there was a thing in a thing with another thing, and this character mentioned a thing that this other character like may have mentioned." Like, Jesus fucking Christ, and none of it fucking means anything.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't watched Lost, and I wasn't around at the time that it was a thing. But I gather
the first
that theorizing was
and stop.
Yeah, this is what I hear: is that the mysteries are great, but the answers are not good.
No, it doesn't happen that Damon Lindelof was involved, so the writing's going to be great. The man who just ruins everything he touches. But yeah, I think I mean I like to speculate on things. We've done it plenty of times, but there's a difference between speculating on things and just like pulling something out of your arse and going, this must mean something.
Yeah.
That window was coloured black, so it must mean it was the entrance to the soul of the thing.
Exactly. I mean, there are some things, there are subconscious things sometimes. Maybe a director won't understand why they've chosen that thing, but you can clearly kind of go, well, it does play into the themes of the thing. Yeah, fine. That happens occasionally. But, there's a difference there. Well, there is a line, and people are crossing it merrily. I think mainly because the wait for a new episode of Twin Peaks is killer.
That is true.
Yeah, every week I sit down and I hear the theme and I see the lovely, the waterfall and then the flowing curtains, and I think, and then we cut to the Bang Bang Bar, and I'm like, no.
Every fucking time.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've got 20 minutes left. And 130 seconds of it, just going to be this guy sweeping.
Excellent.
God damn it, Lynch.
10 out of 10.
Damn
10
you,
out of 10.
Lynch.
Best TV. Best TV ever.
Best TV.
Alrighty.
Oh, John Sean.
Well, I guess we better call it a day there and look forward to episode 8, which is coming out next Monday.
Soon. So soon.
Yes. And yes, once we reach episode 8 and then episode 9, we will be halfway through the series.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yes, I know. It's... I feel like we've already had so much, but we've had so little in terms of some answers as well.
Oh no, definitely.
So it'll be interesting to see how the next kind of it's fair to say with all of these plot points coming together, we're entering the kind of the second act now. So it'll be interesting to see how things get escalated. And Mr. C is now back out at large, and as we know, one of them must die.
Yes, hopefully.
It was foretold by the tree.
Oh, I want Coop back.
Yeah, I want Coop back. But hey, we came close. I feel like I'm saying this every week, but we came closer than we were before to Coop being back. So
yeah, it was so close.
Give it another, however many episodes are left. We'll get there.
10 episodes. Fuck. One is going to be like the finale. That's when he
join us for the gripping finale of Twin Peaks. And it's like, Dale's back. I remember everything.
End credits. What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, with that, I think, we'll call this episode to a close. Thank you for joining us. It's been fun. Sorry that we missed last week, but we're back now. And until next time, enjoy Twin Peaks. Watch the episode multiple times, and I expect a 2,000-word essay on my desk next Monday.
Connecting the coins.
Exactly. I want to know
Red and Hawk.
Specifically the type of metal used to create those coins and how it plays into the themes of electricity and lodge spirits. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly how it's tied to the actual flooring of the lodges.
That's bonus credits. Okay. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Goodbye.
If you like Spoilers of the Damned, don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes.
Team Wolfcat production.